So, weirdly, I'd come up with a marginally, in my mind at least, good argument for abortion. It goes as follows. So, the life of a child is a life. It has its own DNA and a disparate growth rate. Right? It is beautiful, it is sacred, it is meant to be protected. But it is also a life that is inherently, to some extent, in conflict with another life. And because of that, in the same way that you would not force a person to run into a burning building and save another person's life, you should not force a mother to undergo motherhood, to bring a child into this world, because to some extent it is a risky venture. It is an act of self-sacrifice, right? A good thing to do, morally praiseworthy, but should not be morally obligatory. There are a couple of issues with this. Firstly, it misrepresents the proactive nature of abortion. The natural equilibrium is to have the child. A series of events has been initiated that, if left to their natural course, will result in the birth of a child. The proactive thing is to interrupt that process, to have the abortion, right? We're not forcing someone to have the child, we're keeping them from killing the child. Apart from that, I don't think this is an argument that women would ever actually use, because women tend to be very, very empathetic, right? And they don't want to think of it as though they're killing something when they off the little bastard, right? They want to think of it as though they're snipping off a fingernail, right? Something small and useless that's hanging on, and they can just cut it off, right? They don't want to feel regret. They don't want to be haunted by the decision. And frankly, I think they should be haunted. I hope you have a little bit of trouble sleeping. You deserve it. Lest you think I've gone pro-choice, I haven't. So let me see if I can represent my side of the argument a little bit. Now, this isn't a perfect metaphor, so you might have to alter it suitably. So imagine two scenarios. In one of these scenarios, there's a child in the water. Excuse me. There's a child in the water, man on the shore. And you walk up to this man, you say, well, why aren't you helping the child? The child's drowning. So, just to clarify, the child's drowning. You walk up to this guy, why aren't you helping the child? He says something like, well, I can't swim. I would die, the child would die, and neither of us, nothing would be gained from that, right? Well, I think you would be a little bit understanding in that situation, right? Now, you might still think that the person should do something. I mean, it's a child. It's a child that's drowning, right? So in the second scenario, though, you walk up to the man, you ask him, well, why aren't you trying to help this child that's drowning? And he says, well, I do know how to swim, but I just bought a new suit, and I don't want to get it dirty by setting it in the sand, and I don't want to get it wet by going into the water with it. I'm going to guess your reaction would be very, very different. Point being, in my mind, if you flippantly throw away the life of a child, you were like this far from soulless, right? Any decent person would know what to do. Now, to what extent or how this would be legislated, I don't know. I imagine it could be figured out, and sometimes tradition can be the higher law, I guess. Anyways, maybe that sounded a little bit harsh, but all my enemies seem to be terrible people. Weird how that works, right? Alright, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment if you like.